That unsettling moment that played out just moments ago at the White House. President Trump in the briefing room, he had been talking about coronavirus, about mail-in voting, about the markets, when suddenly he is approached by what was believed to be a Secret Service agent whispering to him to leave. A short time later, the president did return, saying there was a suspect shot not far from the White House. We have Mary Bruce standing by, but first we want to show you the moment during the briefing as it just played out.
The way they're going, it looks like they're just about going to be topping records, hopefully soon. Excuse me?
That's the moment right there. The president in the briefing room. Obviously, it was difficult to hear that agent apparently telling him what had just happened. The president leaving the briefing room. And as this all played out live on cable news, of course, an alarming moment to watch a president of the United States forced to leave in the middle of a briefing. A short time later, the president did return to the podium, and here's what he said about what the Secret Service had just told him.
There was a shooting outside of the White House and seems to be very well under control. I'd like to thank the Secret Service for doing their always quick and very effective work. But there was an actual shooting, and somebody's been taken to the hospital. I don't know the condition of the person. It seems that the person was shot by Secret Service. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, did you have something?
Were there details about the shooting? Were they targeted?
No, there are no details. We just found out just now. It was outside of the White House, this area right over here, and they'll have details for you in a little while. Somebody is taken to the hospital. It seems that the shooting was done by law enforcement at that person, at the suspect. It was the suspect who was shot, and this just took place. A couple of people outside. I noticed a man named John Roberts, who you know very well.
Yes.
He reported that he heard shots. He was outside and he heard 2 shots.
I had towards you, sir?
We don't know yet. We don't know. They're going to find out.
Do you know if the individual said anything, sir? Mentioned
don't
your
know that
name,
yet.
anything
No.
like that? And
We
you
don't
can
know that
confirm
yet.
It was the Secret Service that did shoot this
It
suspect?
seems to be, yeah.
It seems to be.
Where were you taking, Mr. President? Were you taking to the bunker?
No, we're taking just out over to the Oval Office.
What did the Secret Service
What did
tell
they
you
tell
when
you
you were
so far?
outside of the room?
Just told me when he came up, you pretty much saw it like I did. He said, "Sir, could you please come with me?" So you were surprised. I was surprised also. I think it's probably pretty unusual. But very, very professional people. They do a fantastic job, as you know. So it seems to me, it seems to be from what I was said, there was a shooting.
Again, the president's word, unusual there, unsettling to watch this on live television for so many. So let's get right to Mary Bruce. She's live in Washington. And Mary, what more are you learning tonight about what happened not far from the White House?
Well, David, this is what we know so far. A senior administration official tells us that this happened right at 17th and Pennsylvania Avenue, just outside of the White House, just as the president was beginning his briefing. Our Kira Phillips, who was in the room, says that she heard a shot fired, and a senior official tells us the suspect opened fire on a non-White House employee. Secret Service then returned fire, and the suspect, an adult male, is now in custody. He was transported to a hospital in critical condition with 1 gunshot wound to the upper body. The president, as you heard him say, was held in the Oval Office for roughly 10 minutes before returning to the briefing room. He said he's not sure if this actually had anything to do with him. And of course, he was quick to thank the Secret Service.
All right,
David.
Mary Bruce with us off the top tonight. Mary, thank you.
Trying to get to the bottom of exactly what went on. We're reaching out to our Secret Service sources. And Boris, from your vantage point, you're over at our annex location just outside the White House grounds. Looking down, what can you see anything from your location? As it turns out, there might have been some sounds in Lafayette Park that concern people.
Yeah, so I was actually preparing for the top of the 6 o'clock hour, taking down some notes, and I heard noises outside. I heard a ruckus. I heard people shouting. I heard a woman screaming, and then I told our producer and our photographer that something is going on outside. They glanced outside. We heard sirens. We heard some kind of a commotion. Our window here is somewhat limited, so we can't really see down the street. But soon after that, we heard what I assume were either Secret Service or police agents asking folks to leave the area to clear it out. From my vantage point right now, I see several folks standing on the roof of the White House, as is usual. They're typically up there monitoring Lafayette Park, monitoring this area. I don't see anyone actually inside the park.
All right.
It looks
and
like
Boris,
there are some.
the president is not to interrupt you, but the president's walking back in. Let's see what's going on.
So thank you very much. Sorry for that. There was a shooting outside of the White House and seems to be very well under control. I'd like to thank the Secret Service for doing their always quick and very effective work. But there was an actual shooting, and somebody's been taken to the hospital. I don't know the condition of the person. It seems that the person was shot by Secret Service. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, did you have something? Go ahead.
Details about the shooting? Were they targeted?
No, there are no details. We just found out just now. It was outside of the White House, this area right over here. And they'll have details for you in a little while. Somebody is taken to the hospital. It seems that the shooting was done by law enforcement at that person, at the suspect. It was the suspect who was shot. And this just took place. A couple of people outside. I noticed a man named John Roberts, who you know very well.
Yes.
He reported that he heard shots. He was outside and he heard 2 shots.
Mr. President, was this,
I had, yes, Mr. President, I
a
have
threat
heard.
towards you, sir?
We don't know yet. We don't know. They're going to find
Do you know
that
if the
out.
individual said anything, sir? Mentioned
don't
your
know that
name,
yet,
anything
no.
like that? And
We
you
don't
can
know that
confirm
yet.
It was the Secret Service that did shoot this
It
suspect?
seems to be, yeah.
It seems to
It
be.
seems to
Where were you taking, Mr. President? Were you taking to the bunker?
No, we're taking just out over to the Oval Office.
What did the Secret Service
What did
tell
they
you
tell
when
you
you
so
were
far?
outside of the room?
Just told me when he came up, you pretty much saw it like I did. He said, "Sir, could you please come with me?" So you were surprised. I was surprised also. I think it's probably pretty unusual. But very, very professional people. They do a fantastic job, as you know. So it seems to me, it seems to be from what I was said, there was a shooting. It was law enforcement shot someone, seems to be the suspect, and the suspect is now on the way to the hospital. I can't tell you the condition of the suspect. There was nobody else injured. There was no other law enforcement injured. And I just want to, we'll get on to the press conference, but I do want to thank Secret Service. They are fantastic. The job they do, from what I understand, the answer is yes.
He was armed, Mr. President?
That's what I understand. I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
What type of weapon?
I don't know that,
Was
no.
it a male or a female
I
suspect?
don't know. You'll have to get, they'll have a detailed, maybe a briefing for you outside later.
Did they say anything against you personally? Mr.
I don't
President?
know. I didn't ask that question.
Was he
It might not have had anything to do with me. It might have been something else. But it was on the outside of the premises. The wall, as you know, the fencing, especially the new fencing that they put up, is very powerful. But it was on the outside of the White House. Okay? And they'll have a full report. Secret Service, in a little while, will have a full report.
Are you rattled by this at all, Mr. President?
I don't know. Do I seem rattled? It's unfortunate that this is a world, but the world's always been a dangerous place. It's not something that's unique. The world has been, you look back over the centuries, the world has been a dangerous place, very dangerous place, and it will continue, I guess, for a period of time.
Does this make you think differently about your personal safety inside the White House?
No, I feel very safe with the Secret Service. They're fantastic people. They're the best of the best, and they're highly trained. I don't know if anybody got to walk outside, but there were a lot of terrific-looking people ready to go if something was necessary. People at the highest level of law enforcement. There's nobody like these people. So they just wanted me to step aside for a little while just to make sure that everything was cleared outside, because it was right in this area. So
Why did you come back, Mr. President? Why did you decide after that? Because obviously it created a lot of commotion. What made you decide to come back and continue the briefing?
well, I didn't even think about not coming back. I said, am I able to go back? And they said, you'd have to wait a little while. I waited a little while, as you know, in the Oval Office area. And I said, can I get back now? And they said, yes. And they have a lot of fortification outside just in case, but it was one person. Okay?
You said the shooting was outside. How far away from the
Well,
White
they're
House?
going to be giving you a full briefing in a little while.
The White House, or was it right in front
I
of
can
that
only
fence?
tell you they're going to give you a briefing. It was outside of the premises. Near the fence, but outside of the
But it was near the
premises.
fence, so pretty
Near
close to here.
Yeah, pretty close. So I was telling you that the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 are now 50% above the March level. NASDAQ is setting new records. It's already broken the record despite the situation of having the China virus. We have new jobs are rising and unemployment is falling faster than nearly anyone thought. To move as quickly as he can, right? So we'll get it done. Yeah, please.
I have a question about coronavirus, but I wanted to just ask you to be clear on the incident outside. There's a fairly significant perimeter around the White House. Does it concern you at all that someone who is armed was able to get so close that you needed to be removed from the briefing room?
Well, I don't know if he was close or not, he or she. I don't know if it was a he or she, but I have such confidence in these people. They're so good. And I don't think the person breached anything. It was on the outside ground, so I don't believe anything was breached. I asked that question, so they were relatively far away. I see John Roberts. John, you were outside. You said you heard shots fired before?
Two shots in rapid succession just after you took the podium.
And they were shots, pretty much.
It certainly
You
sounded like
definitely
a
know
shot.
the difference. I know that. You know the difference. You thought they were shots, John?
Definitely sounded like
I
gunfire.
saw your report inside when I went inside. It's a good report, too. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.